Audio transformed transportation. For experiences that move you, it has to be Snapdragon.
Let me get my chat actually working. And reload this. Lovely. We're just loading in. We have reverse grid sprint action later on from COTA in Blobby Mondays. So that will follow this. Make sure the mic's on. Short quali and 50% race as ever here in DRS. And good to be back after we missed last week with the bank holiday. And my eyes still bloody playing up, but there you go. So, how is everybody? Hope we're all well.
Yo, blog.
Good evening to Magnatex in the chat, and he's going to be in later on.
Been looking forward to tonight's racing.
Yeah, it's definitely good to be back. I'm not been on for a while. Ooh, it's raining in America. Wet quali. Wet quali then, by the looks of it. Boris is in the Ferrari today, the former Prime Minister, standing in for Swanton. King Kong's changed his name to Pops Kong, by the looks of it. No, wait, we got King Kong. Ah, he's brought his dad in. There you go, you got Pops Kong. And King Kong, teammates at Alpine. Good evening to Bazza, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed your holiday. Senna is back in. Leaving the pits first. Looks to be a McLaren. But is it Al Newt or is it Craggy? It's Craggy. Craggy recently taken up the McLaren seat in Blobby Mondays as well, so you'll be seeing a lot more of Craggy in the papaya. Leads this championship at the moment. And leads the way to do the first hot lap.
You racing on Wednesday, blog? Haven't raced against you yet.
I'm not here this Wednesday, I'm at football. There may be a possibility that I come in a couple of Wednesday or two's time. I was actually at home for the last race at Monaco. I just hate Monaco, and I haven't driven on this game for about 3 weeks or so to a month. So I thought I was that badly out of practice that I just didn't bother. Just haven't had the time. And I heard a rumour that Epic Games are making making Football Manager free for a week, and then you can download it and you get to keep it. If that's the case on PS5 as well as or if it's not just PC, then yeah, nobody's going to see me for several months because I have a bad addiction to that game. Oh. Dating back to 2011 is my FM favourite. So Craggy then starts us off. We'll go on board. And he looked like he made a little bit of a mess of that first corner. Oh, they're really sliding these intermediate tyres. Wrestling the car through the twists and turns of Sector 1. Quite a few more of them now on their way. Caution flashing in Sector 2 just for somebody getting out of the way, I think. As Craggy will hope this Alpine does in front shortly, and does. Oh, and an invalidate for Craggy. Easy Life sets the first lap there, 148.7. And Max comes in, his teammate, with a 145.0. So that's the kind of ballpark figure we're looking at. Colin just slower, 145.1. Senna, 145.6. And Syme down in the 147s.
On the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing.
The rain still is falling. Sloth with a 149.4. Rouge Nico 148.5. So the front runners then 145s at the moment. Sainsy nowhere near that pace. Mr. Pickle 147.9. Sainsy 154. Joker run up there 145.4.
Hey.
Sainsy and 50 both with 154s. Smug with a 147.9 just ahead of his teammate. This is Skippy now coming into the straight. And a 148.3 for him puts him in P8. Here's Boris Johnson. Craggy has gone in and come back out again very quickly. Max, fastest of all, 144.5. We'll stay with Boris as he's on his hot lap here. King Kong's gone up there, 146.3 for him and P5. Don't forget to give us a follow if you're watching for the first time. As Boris goes to P5, 145.9 for him. See how Pops Kong's getting on. Baptism of fire going in straight into wet qualifying. Craggy is back out. Smug improves to P4. 1:45.5 for Smug. I think Popscong is going to be a little bit off the pace. As he comes round the final corner now. So 1:52.5, so still slightly quicker than Sainsy, but I don't think for long. Craggy is back out. This is quick. Senna now ahead of Boris. Craggy using all the carb there. And across the line, 1:43.4, a whole second faster than Max's best time. Incredible pace from Craggy. And that just leaves his teammate Al Newt as the one driver who hasn't set a time. He is fighting it through that first sector. Just give us Symes having a look at dry tyres, and Popscong has been disconnected. Max is tearing some time off here. Has he done enough to retake pole? Yes, he has! The track must be improving because the times are improving. 1:43.0 now for Max. And back onto provisional pole goes Real Max World. Now they're all going to want to get out there and improve again. Syme has thought again about the dry tyres. Nobody has exited the pits doing that just yet. Max and Craggy in the 1:43s. Everybody else 1:45, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1:50 for Al Newt. Craggy's out! Craggy's out and he's binned it. He's binned it near the last corner. And it won't be pole for Craggy. As maybe did he come in and hit the pit wall on his way in, perhaps? That's certainly possible here. Senna's been disconnected now.
Went into pit wall __.
Craggy did hit the pit wall indeed. I'm going to see if I can get Senna back. Sent an invite there, Senna, so hopefully you can get back in. How much is this track going to improve now? And will Craggy fall down the order after hitting the pit wall? Al Newt is making real improvements. Senna rejoining us there. Currently in P6. Newty's made some real improvements on this lap. Comes towards the line and he's up to P10. 1:46.6 for Al Newt. Joker goes second ahead of Craggy. Here is Boris, and he's improving. So we'll stay with Boris for now as Pops Kong rejoins us. Down in 17th at the moment. Not sure what's wrong with my eyes today. Playing up lately. Didn't see Boris's Sector 2 time there, but we'll stay with him as he comes through. Ruzhniko's all the way up to P6. 1:45.3 for him. Here comes Boris to the last corner. On the power, 1:44.9 puts him in P6. Colin is the latest one to flirt with the soft tyre. Someone's got to have a gamble and go for the dry, surely. 3 minutes left, so they've got to do it now if they're going to. Syme is way down in 13th at the moment. And he usually likes it around here. Make that 14th. As Sloth now improves. Skippy is absolutely flying. He's taken a lot of time off. And if he keeps it sensible, he could be going up the order. Syme again flirting with a soft tyre. Is he going to come out and gamble? No, he's gone back to Inters, as has Colin. Nobody risking it at the moment. Skippy P4, 1:44.3. Brilliant lap from the Williams. Boris is invalidated and is cutting the grass. Ruzhniko also invalidated. Sloth down on his time. Mr. Pickle has just improved slightly. In fact, he may have invalidated that previous attempt. Syme is back out. Colin can't decide. Easy Life's having a look at the softs, maybe. Nope. And Sainsey is tearing some time off. Let's see what he's doing through Sector 2, a full 7 seconds. So he's going to be up into the 1:46s, 1:47s with this lap by the looks of it. Which will climb him up the order and off the bottom. Colin is coming out with the dry tyres on. There's a minute or so to go. You're going to have to get out quick from now if you want to hit the line. It's a 1:46.4 for Sainsey, and that's P11. Just a minute left now, so it doesn't look as if Joker's coming back. Colin is on an outlap, but he's quite a way still from the end of that lap. So he may have undone himself here. Easy Life has invalidated. He's on an outlap though. Pops Kong not coming back out. Nor is 50 Gent. Boris is out. Max 1:41.7. Senna now second, 1:43.0. Is Colin going to make it? He's got 10 seconds. He's not. And he's spun. And Colin's not made it. Off his outlap. Is Al Newt going to make it? He isn't either. Al Newt's not made it. So now let's see who's coming across the line. Easy Life has invalidated, so he hasn't made it. King Kong now. Towards the line. And it's a 1:44.2 for King Kong. And that is P6 at the moment. Sloth next, up to P12. Sainsey is well down and invalidated, so no improvement for him. Syme needs a big one here. And he's only found so far less than a second. He will be next across the line. Max is still out there as well. He crossed the line just before, so I doubt he's on a hot lap as he's passed by Williams, possibly Senna. Lots going on there. The Red Bulls are in there as well. But Syme will be the next to cross the line. Here he comes. 1:45.1 gets him to P11 for now. Smug is improving. P9 at the moment goes up to P5. 1:43.6. Mr. Pickle is invalidated. And that's going to be that. As Max and Senna hit the pit lane. That is that. So it's Real Max World on pole.
Today with the lead.
I thought, Marty, you checked out. You pressed decline, sir. There are still 2 spots available. So just put a message in the check-in on Discord and I will get to you after the race.
I'm in.
Okay, thank you. I will sort that out after this race. So that's Max Weld then on the pole position. Senna in second. Then it's Joker and Craggy, the Red Bulls of Smug and Mr. Pickle. King Kong and Skippy next from Colin and Rouge Nico. Boris in 11th and Syme in 12th. Sloth is with Sainsey, 13 and 14. Then Al Newt, 50 Gent, Easy Life and Pops Kong. $18 of them then will line up, and it's sunshine for the race after that difficult qualifying session. Just bear with me. I will take you through some championship stuff. The championship standings then. Craggy leads the way from Max. He's got a 31 point gap at the moment. Joker is in third from Swanson and Colin. The Pro-Am sees Sloth now lead the way by 7 points from Skippy. Sainsey and Mr. Pickle still in the hunt. Then Rouge Nico, Al Newt 50 Gent and Speedy Bullet, who I believe has left. And the team standings, McLaren leading the way from Ferrari by 5 points. Then it's VCarb, Williams and Kick Sauber and Red Bull all still within 50 points of the lead. Alpine, Mercedes, Aston Martin and Haas. Haas sitting at the bottom then. So that brings you right up to date. I'm just going to check something for myself. Marty Styles is yet to race this season, so that means he'll go at the back. So we'll give him Williams. That's done. So we just wait for the drivers to set their strategies, fuel loads, etc. They are told not to ready up, so we have a little pause. Then I'll take you through the tyre choices on the formation lap, which is just about underway. And we have a mix of mediums and hards. Mediums for the front four. Hards for the Red Bulls. Is this real life Monza yesterday? Hards for King Kong in the Alpine as well. Just call him Esteban Ocon. They're mediums for Skippy, Colin and Rouge Nico. Hards for Boris. Ferrari masterclass in real life, of course, yesterday. With the one stopper catching everybody out. And Charles Leclerc giving the Tifosi something to really cheer about in Monza. Ferrari this time. Boris in 11th and Sloth in 13th go on different tyre strategies. It's medium to hard or soft medium to hard for a two-stopper apparently. Nobody's starting on soft. Or maybe the other way round. Sainsy and Al Newt go for hards. 50 Gent, Easy Life and Pops Kong are all on the mediums. So the Red Bulls will have to be in conversation about how they schedule their pit stop. A double stack potentially hurting Mr. Pickle. He is the front of the Pro-Am runners today. Though I'm sure Smug won't want to hold him up. There'll be no yielding to let anybody through, that's for sure. Max and Senna then take to the front row. Senna back from a couple of weeks break and right back into form. Joker then from Craggy on row 2, and then the Red Bulls. Rouge Nico disqualified for his parking. Looks like he's going to be the only one. DRS will be disabled for the first lap, of course. Big pause. Here we go. DRS now disabled. Can't see the lights, but can hear them. 5 lights out, away we go. And a bit of ghosting off the start leads to Mr. Pickle and Smug side by side into turn 1. And very wide as somebody, Joker got hit there. Joker got hit and a piece of somebody's car flew off. Craggy's already trying to get to Senna as they snake through sector 1. Craggy got ahead of Joker. And I'm not sure who it was that hit Joker and whether anybody got any damage. I saw some piece of car fly. But they all managed to make it through. Syme has dropped all the way to the back though. What has happened to Syme? And now our Newt, Easy Life and Pops Kong all going for it. But what happened? Syme has got a broken front wing. So contact must have occurred with Syme. We've got battles going on everywhere here. Senna and Craggy. King Kong trying to stay ahead of Smug and Boris. Smug's not had a great start. Sainsy going round Nico. Easy Life cutting up and 4 wide. A big smash. A big smash. Our Newt is round and 50 Gent was involved and Pops Kong and Easy Life were there. And that's a big accident. And I'm surprised we haven't got a safety car with that one. Everybody surviving just about. But some will be in the pits for damage now, including Syme and 50 Gent, which is going to cost 50 some time with a double stack. Newty continues on. Colin now passing Skippy for P6. Senna has managed to fight off Craggy so far. Max has got a 2.5 lead. Mr. Pickle has made a much better start than his teammate Smug, who's down to 10. Sloth having a look there at the back of Rouge Nico. All getting very tight there. Easy Life and Pops Kong are having their own little private battle. And the Mercedes are now well adrift. Again, Sloth looks for the move but doesn't get it. Just ahead, Sainsy looking for a go on Smug. Pops Kong and Easy Life scrapping away. Smug really not got them hard tyres quite fired up. Sainsy doing somewhat better on his, though he is stuck behind Smug at the moment. Colin's going to try and make a move on Mr. Pickle up the inside, and does get the move. So Colin up to P5 in the Aston Martin, ahead of Mr. Pickle's Red Bull, who will now be wary of Skippy behind him in that Pro-Am title race. Syme has got a time penalty early doors, and it's really turning out to be a bad evening for him so far. Love this view. Rouge Nico, and look at Joker up the inside of Senna. What a move that was. Joker makes the move on Senna. Now can Senna race him back though? No, he can't. He looks like he's going to lose out to Colin as well. Colin and Mr. Pickle. Colin goes past Senna. Now does Mr. Pickle? No. Senna losing positions there though. And now trying to back Mr. Pickle into his teammate Skippy. Now Mr. Pickle picks up a penalty. Very early on to be picking up penalties, but 3 of them have done so already. Craggy has now caught Max. That 2.5 gap did not last long. Colin up the inside of Joker, but he's gone too deep and then he's hit Joker. He went too deep into the corner. He's hit Joker. He's managed to not have any damage there, which is good. But he did lose a place to Senna, so Colin's back down to P5. Pops Kong, the latest one to pick a penalty up. Track limits absolutely horrible on this track. Sainsy now also in the naughty book with 3-second penalties. And somebody went off there. Was that Skippy? Skippy went off and was passed by King Kong. And now Senna's been disconnected again. Craggy takes the lead, but goes too wide, and Max retakes the lead. I've got to try and get Senna back in again. He's going to lose a lot of places here because it was quite close. Invite sensor. Pops Kong and Easy Life both passing Al Newt. As Senna drops back now towards Boris. Al Newt lost a couple of places there. Senna's back in. Hopefully he can get back in his car. He's just been passed by Boris. Craggy continues to try and chase Max as their teammates, Al Newt and Easy Life, have a scrap further back. Senna's dropped another couple of places, and now he's got back in his car. Just as Sloth and Smug are trying to go with him. Inopportune timing as Mr. Pickle picks up a second 3-second penalty. He's trying to stick to the back of Colin, but those penalties will not help him. Al Newt also with a penalty now. Craggy closes again on Max. Could this be the moment for a leader change? Right on the outside on the curbs. Max defends. Colin in behind by 4 seconds now. Chased by Joker, Mr. Pickle and King Kong. Skippy dropped back after going off. Pops Kong makes a place on Rouge Nico. And then gives it back again. They're having a little scrap. We will stay with the leaders for now. As Craggy continues to try and battle his championship rival, Max World. More DRS help is on its way. And the McLaren is surely this time going to take the lead. Side by side going into turn 1. And again, Craggy's just edged out of it. Joker and Mr. Pickle doing the same. And Mr. Pickle is up to P4. Joker now picks up a penalty. He's chased by King Kong. Skippy trying to get back onto them. Sloth tries to chase Sainsy. Senna is back in his car, but in fact he's left again. Senna's connection has really messed him up tonight. I'll send him another invite, but to be honest, that's going to drop him right out of contention. He might be coming back in just to retire the car. As he now drops to P12. Sloth making a move on Sainsy up the inside. Sainsy keeps it there and defends well. Senna has rejoined again as Rouge Nico and Pops Kong continue to battle. And Pops Kong now with a penalty. And Al Newt is there as well and makes a dive. Al Newt up the inside. Lovely move by Al Newt. Max still with Craggy. Okay. Hello to the spam message in my kick. Smug's in the pits. And he must have got some damage because that's very early for a hard tyre stop. Who's that side by side? Colin and Mr. Pickle side by side. And Pickle's going to go up to third, is he? They're still side by side. And still. And still. And look at the V-Carb getting involved as well. Joker and King Kong. They could end up 4 wide here. Mr. Pickle into third, Joker fourth, Colin fifth and King Kong sixth. They're all still going at it. Meanwhile, Max retakes the lead. Max has retaken the lead. Colin and Mr. Pickle still side by side. Joker's there as well. King Kong in behind. Joker back up to third. And off goes King Kong. He just caught the back of one of them. And he's lost a place to Skippy. Colin now picks up a penalty. Joker, Mr. Pickle, Colin, Skippy, King Kong. King Kong losing out there just briefly. Don't know if Senna's managed to get back in yet. Yes, he has. But he's now down in 11th and adrift of Sainsey, who chases Sloth. Now, who's going to get into turn one this time? Colin tries to go inside. And he might lose out to Skippy in behind him. Mr. Pickle chasing Joker. Meanwhile, while all this scrapping goes on, the front two are now 7.5 seconds clear as they continue their battle. Max leads from Craggy. Then this battle, Joker, Mr. Pickle, Colin, Skippy and King Kong, with Boris closing in on them. Craggy back into the lead. Easy Life picked up a penalty there as well. I need to repeat your spam message. Go away. Very nice, aren't they, these kickbots? Don't forget, we are live on Kick as well as Twitch and the Dynamic Racing League Twitch as well. If you are a Prime subscriber, then you can have a free subscription every month on Twitch. So do use that to support the stream. Doesn't cost you anything if you're a Prime member. Paid subscriptions, of course, are available as well on Kick and Twitch. And everyone who subscribes gets added to our giveaway wheel for the Christmas cash giveaway of £180. And Sloth picked up a 10-second penalty. Corner cutting from Sloth and a 10-second penalty. Kong got a good exit there, and now can he make a move? Looks like he can on Skippy. He's up his inside. Now that's a good move by King Kong, but Skippy almost got him back on the exit and then had to bail out as he nearly hit him. Max is still trying to get back to Craggy. Skippy does get back to King Kong. Good battling from those two. Skippy in P6, King Kong in P7. Boris trying to latch on to the DRS train. Then it's Sainsey and Sloth from Senna in 11th, who's had his race ruined somewhat by his connection issues. As Easy Life is passed by Rouge Nico and I think hit him. Easy Life's broken his front wing. He's still going to try and scrap it, but I don't think he's going to get anywhere. And Smug's there as well. And Easy Life came off worst out of that one. Syme and 50 Gent still are detached at the back. Lap 10 of 28. Where do we think the medium runners are going to go with their tyres? Easy Life is in the pits to fix his wing as Smug goes by Rouge Nico. It's a long stint for him to try and make mediums last. But he has been known to do that before. Max again, slipstreaming Craggy. Goes to the outside. And there's a caution in sector 2. And that's Senna. Senna has spun. And it's just gone from bad to worse for him today off the front row. Rouge Nico picks up a penalty. Mr. Pickle and Joker side by side. King Kong and Skippy at it again. Boris is now with them. Boris now right on the tail of Skippy. Pops Kong having a decent race in P12 for Alpine. Senna now down to 14th and broken front wing. Into the pits comes Colin. So 10 laps for the mediums for him. And he drops down the order accordingly. Craggy right on the case of Max as he has been for most of the race. Boris makes the move and passes Skippy. Colin is going to exit the pits behind Al Newt in P11. Senna in the pits to fix his front wing. That still should tie in with a one-stopper off the mediums to the hards. Colin's come out on mediums again, so he's going to need to stop again. Craggy and Max are side by side again, and Craggy with DRS gets that one done well before the corner. Mr. Pickle's trying to shake off Joker. There's a gap now to King Kong, who's battling Boris and Skippy. Boris with DRS. Going to make a late lunge on King Kong. They leave each other some room. Not enough room for Skippy to get involved. Boris round the long way. Gets it done. Boris Johnson up to P5 now from King Kong. And Skippy. Sainzy's catching them, as is Sloth. Colin has made it back past Al Newt into P10. But he's committed to the two-stopper. Into the pits comes Joker. And Skippy. Joker and Skippy are in the pits. We'll keep an eye on what they do. Surely it's one stopper to hards. It isn't. It's mediums for Joker. It's hards for Skippy. But Joker's going two-stop as well. And they come out ahead of Smug. Joker comes out ahead of Smug. Skippy behind. Rouge Nico also in the pits. Kong trying to get back at Boris Johnson now for P4. Meanwhile, Max and Craggy at it again, and Max is going to retake the lead, is he? Side by side still. Camera view's not giving me much here. Still can't see much. Change, please. And Craggy does manage to stay ahead. Well, we had a terrible view. Don't know why it did that. Oh, they're going to box on the same lap. Is the undercut coming in? Craggy just feigned there towards the pits. It's all mind games going on here. Max has DRS now down the straight. Goes to the outside. Craggy defends inside. Max will look for a better exit, but he's not got it. And they continue on. Sloth is now in the pits. And serving that 10-second penalty as well. So he's going to drop down a bit. Also in the pits is Pops Kong. Sloth goes to hard tyres. Caution in sector 3 is a Haas, is Rouge Nico. Rouge Nico has gone off and broken his front wing. And he had just pit. So really bad news for him. He's back in the pits again. Pops Kong rejoins just behind Easy Life, who he's been battling with. Further forward, Boris and King Kong side by side. Rouge Nico is out of the race. He has pit and quit after that last accident. And Rouge Nico is out. Craggy this time again feigns to pit. And Max stays with him. Senna's been disconnected again. And I mean, it's just gone horribly, horribly wrong connection-wise for Senna. I will take you back to the battle once I get back to inviting him. And Max this time up the inside. Edges Craggy out, does he? Craggy keeps it there. But Max takes the lead. Great battle these two are having. But are they going to box on the same lap? The gap, by the way, has closed slightly now to Mr. Pickle. So the medium tyres for those two and all the battling is slowing them down a bit. Magnatech's cheering Craggy on. Mr. Pickle is closing slightly. King Kong and Boris are still having their battle. Sainzy's up to 6th now, having not stopped. Then it's Colin and Joker from Al Newt, who's yet to stop. Symes climbing the order now. He stopped on lap 1, so I'm sure he has to stop again. King Kong passing Boris for P4. And now this time, with Max in front, are they going to box? Max boxes! And Craggy doesn't. So Craggy stays out and Max is in. Surely a one-stopper from here as we're at halfway distance now. So the mediums have done their job for the front two. Pickle continues on. Now is anybody going to go hard to soft perhaps? Depends how long these run. Max will rejoin behind Colin, who's on a 2-stopper. Our Newt is also into the pits. So Max has come up behind Colin and Sainsy. Colin is closing on Sainsy. Symes up another place ahead of Al Newt. If he can make them hards last to the end, you know, he could be on from points finish from the back. Max having a big look at the back of Colin. And they're both going to get some DRS help to try and get past Sainsy here. And Colin pulls out early and sails by. Max is going to try and get both of them. And Max does get both of them. Good move from Max World. Senna's been disconnected again. I can't keep inviting you back, mate. At some point you've just got to concede defeat to it, I think. He's now running last. Craggy's in the pits, as is Mr. Pickle. So Craggy's made the soft tyres, the medium tyres, sorry, last as long as the hard runners. Mr. Pickle, King Kong and Boris all in. Here comes Max. Where is he going to come out? He's in the lead. Max is in the lead. The undercut works for Max. Colin is second. Craggy third. Joker fourth. Then Mr. Pickle, smug and skippy, ahead of King Kong Boris Johnson. Sainsy coming out just ahead of Syme. So now everybody has made a pit stop. Some need to pit again, of course. Max has the lead from Colin. Craggy just behind. Then Joker, Mr. Pickle and Smug. Colin with DRS looking for the lead. Skippy making a move on Smug for P6. He's going to try and get back after Mr. Pickle, but Pickle's tyre management seems to have been better. But 6 seconds of penalties could render that a bit useless. Skippy could well be on still for the Pro-Am victory. Boris still close behind King Kong. We will look at the penalties a bit later in the race, as they will affect the positions, of course. Boris has now got a time penalty. King Kong will be delighted to see that. Craggy closing up to the front too, as he warms those hard tyres up. Don't forget, after this race, it's Blobby Mondays in Qatar. Reverse grid sprint action. Craggy takes Colin for P2, and now we'll get after Max and try and continue the battle they've been having most of the race. King Kong and Boris going for Smug here, 3 wide. And both of them get past Smug, who will be heading for another pit stop shortly. Maybe trying to last these out and have a go on the softs late on. There's less fuel load. Syme still going strong on those hard tyres and catching our Newt. Craggy fastest lap of the race as he tries to catch Max, who had a 1.5 seconds gap. Kong and Boris, they're now after Skippy. Syme into the pits once again, so he's not making those hard tyres last. And he's going for softs, which for 10 laps seems to be an ambitious choice. He did have some time in hand to make that stop, and he's going to come back out just 1 place down from where he went in. So interesting if he can make those last, though, as some of the soft tyres on this game have really been letting people down. King Kong going for Skippy here. Boris going to make it 3 wide again. Boris makes it 3 wide and jumps both of them. Side by side, King Kong still, but Boris has it done and has P6. Nothing really Skippy could do about that. Both on fresher tyres. Craggy now within a second of Max at the front and has DRS. Can Max stick with him when he's overtaken as he did in the first stint? That is the question that will decide this race, as Smug is in for his 2nd stop. And now does he go to softs? Yes, he does. Of course, he couldn't do mediums as he'd done medium before. So he will rejoin in P12. Syme's not going to get round in time, having just boxed on the previous lap. Colin still needs to box again. He's dropped now away from the leaders. King Kong and Boris are having a great battle. Skippy trying to cling to them. Pops Kong an easy life. Swapping places once again. Good move from the Alpine. Boris, King Kong, Skippy. Pops Kong picks up a penalty just as he praised his move on easy life. Craggy now half a second. And Max versus Craggy. Episode 2 of this race will begin. Interesting to see the pace now of Smug and Syme. As wide there went Max, and Craggy's going to jump all over that, surely. And into the lead goes Craggy. A mistake from Max into the first corner. And Craggy said thank you very much and took the lead. King Kong still trying to chase down Boris. Skippy trying to stick with them still. Sainsy, Al Newt from Sloth. Sloth and Smug, no penalties. King Kong and Skippy, no penalties. The front two, no penalties. Max back into the lead. Side by side and past goes Max. Senna did get back in and he's gamefully carrying on. But he's now 17th. Of the 17 who remain on track with just Rouge Nico having left us, King Kong back into P6 ahead of Boris. Kong and Skippy have really got the edge on Boris with that without having a penalty at the moment. Similar for Sloth as he tries to chase down Al Newt. Into the pits come Joker and Colin for their second stops. So they are going to be on the soft tyres and going for it. But where are they going to rejoin? They are going to be behind this big battle of Kong, Boris and Skippy. There's Colin. And Sainsy's going to be ahead of his teammate. Although I'm sure V-Carb will be on the radio saying Joker is quicker than you. And we may see them swap places. Speaking of swapping places, Craggy's retaken the lead and I think Max went off. There. We just caught the end of it. And Craggy's managed to gap him by a couple of seconds. And now he hasn't. He might be giving the place back. Did Craggy run Max off the road perhaps? Craggy certainly slowed to not take an advantage there. Boris looking at King Kong again. Joker passing Sainsy without the need for any team orders by the looks of it. Just a bit of DRS and fresh soft tyres puts Joker back ahead of Sainsy. Max is in the pits, so he must have gone off. He must have done some damage. Max is out. Max has retired. Max is out of the race. I do not believe what I've just seen. Max from P2 has retired. Boris Johnson now going for a podium. Up into P3 he goes. Max's car is coming back out onto the track, but I'm hoping that's not going to be getting in the way as the V-Carbs pass it. But Max World out of the race. Mr. Pickle at the moment, he's now P2. And he's got a bit of a gap to Boris. And could he be on for a P2 as a Pro-Am? Certainly on for the Pro-Am win. This is Colin making a move on Skippy. Colin makes the move on Skippy. King Kong makes the move on Boris. This is a fight for a podium now, folks. Colin looked right in behind as well. The fresh soft tyres trying to make that two-stopper work. And makes the dive on Boris. Colin, good move. Saw a gap, went for it, and is now in P4. Craggy into the pits. So Craggy now pits, and Mr. Pickle is going to take the lead. There's Craggy. Where are everybody else? Joker, fastest lap of the race. Craggy will rejoin in P2. Just ahead of the onrushing Colin, King Kong. Colin into turn 1. Has he overdone it this time? No, he hasn't. He's up to P3. Then King Kong, Boris Johnson, Joker and Skippy. Sloth now at the inside of Al Newt. Pro-Am leader getting some vital places late on. So Mr. Pickle leads then, but does have penalties. Sainsy picks up another penalty. Mr. Pickle leads from Craggy. Colin in third, but he has a penalty. King Kong doesn't. And that could be the thing that earns him a podium. And he's going to make the move again on Colin. Boris and Joker right in behind. Both have penalties as well. Skippy doesn't, but he's on hard tyres that are a lot older and may not be able to keep with them. Al Newt is fighting Sloth still and wins back P9. Pops Kong closing on Easy Life. They've had a good battle throughout this race. Let's take a look at those penalties as promised. Mr. Pickle with 6 seconds. Colin, Boris, Joker, all threes. Sainsy 6, Al Newt with 9. Pops Kong has 9 and he makes the move on Easy Life, who has 6, and Sime has 3. The two of them side by side and a bit of a bump. And now Boris has got another penalty. His podium chances could be fading in front of your very eyes. Currently P6, but with penalties. Craggy's closing that gap to Mr. Pickle alarmingly quickly. Mr. Pickle will be happy to just take the Pro-Am win, I'm sure. And a podium overall would be a bonus. Colin is trying to create a gap now to King Kong. Joker and Boris are still scrapping. And Joker's going to make the move on King Kong. And he goes up to P4. King Kong and Boris from Skippy. Then Sainsy Sloth's got back past Al Newt again. Craggy has caught up.
Lasted, but this is past a joke now, so I'm binning it off. Craggy can win by 20s easily each time low.
I think that's a reaction rather than... So, have a think about it, mate. Craggy back into the lead then.
Note low.
Yeah, see how you feel in the week, mate. Don't make any rash decisions. Al Newt into the pits. And dropping out of the top 10. Smug replaces him in the top 10. Pickle doing his best to stay with Craggy and maintain the gap to the rest as he has those penalties. Boris, chasing down King Kong. And King Kong picks up a penalty. Easy Life and Pops Kong scrapping again, and Senna now in between them. Senna making some late overtakes, but it's not going to be his day. Disconnection issues costing him from the front of the grid. Up the inside of Easy Life he goes. And we'll pull away now with DRS.
Or I'll speak to Smug. I won't be racing here again, but I'll still support the lads.
Yeah, just all I say, like I say with anyone in my league as well, just and Simon now in the pits. Just take a few days, see how you feel. We all get a bit hot-headed after a precious situation, so don't make any rash decisions and see how you go, sir. Mr. Pickle is closed right up again to Craggy. And Pickle making a real race of this now. Only those penalties are letting him down. So Simon has come back out for a fastest lap attempt, I guess. It was outside of the points anyway, so may as well. Might see Senna do the same perhaps. Mr. Pickle trying to stay with Craggy. Just a couple of laps to go now. Put those penalties back up as Boris passes King Kong. Mr. Pickle, 6 seconds of penalties at the moment are going to cost him second, because the others behind have 3s at least. Skippy could be on for a jump of a couple of places. Sloth will jump Sainsy. Smug's in the pits, so he's going for a fastest lap attempt. Joker now passing Colin, and this is a podium battle right here. As they both have the same penalty at the moment. Kong can happily sit behind Boris, but Skippy can sit behind both of them. So potentially a P5 for Skippy. Sainsy, a Pro-Am podium. Maybe it's going to cost him them penalties, because Sloth at the moment is within that 6 seconds, and the championship leader from nowhere looks to have this Pro-Am podium wrapped up. Senna's been disconnected again. We start the last lap, so I'm not going to pause to invite him again. I'm sure he understands. Craggy has now broken away from Mr. Pickle, but he's clear of Joker. Colin right on his case. This is the battle for third. 50 Gent passing Pops Kong further back. Boris and King Kong battling as well, but of course that's not going to affect position wise unless Kong picks up another penalty. Skippy is still within 3 of them. Colin, this is the chance, and he passes Joker. Joker's going to leave it in there on the inside. And Colin makes the move. And that should secure him P3. But Joker won't give it up. Joker's definitely not giving it up. And he's in his side pod. And they're side by side. And Colin just skips through. Craggy sees the checkered flag and wins at COTA. Mr. Pickle will come home for a Pro-Am win and a P2 overall. Colin is going to hold Joker for P3. Joker in P4. Boris will come home in 5th but lose that to Skippy with King Kong in 6. Boris in 7. Sainsy will come home in 6 but lose that spot to Sloth, who comes over P8 and P3 of the Pro-Ams. Sainsy P9. Al Newt will come home in 10th but lose that place to Smug, who managed to get round with no penalties. So it's 10th for Smug, 11th for Newty. Smug fastest lap of the race as well. So it's a couple of points for him. Syme in P12. Not a great race for him. Easy Life will come home next but be jumped by 50 Gent. So 13 will be Easy Life. 13 will be 50 Gent. 14 Easy Life. 15 Pops Kong. And 16th and last finisher is Senna. Oh, I haven't got my watch on. That helps. We will be back in about 40 minutes' time. 10 o'clock start for Blobby Mondays in Qatar. Reverse grid sprint and feature race. Hopefully the game doesn't glitch us out this time, which it did before. But here are the results then. Craggy takes the win for McLaren with Mr. Pickle in 2nd and the Pro-Am win for him. Colin in 3rd for Aston Martin from Joker V-Carb in 4. Skippy P5 2nd in the Pro-Am from King Kong in 6th for Alpine. Boris Johnson in 7th for Ferrari in Swanton seat, with Sloth taking P3. He's the Pro-Am Championship leader before today. Sainsy, penalties costing him a Pro-Am podium in P9. Smug gets a couple of points for a fastest lap on the final round. And P10 ahead of Al Newt on penalty. Syme and 50 Gent. Further back 12 and 13 from Easy Life, Pops Kong and Senna, who ended up a lap down because of multiple disconnections. 2 DNS via pit and quit were Max World and Rouge Nico. So that is it for now from DRS. We will be back at 10 PM on both Twitch and Kick Blobby Butler channels, where it's reverse grid sprint time in Qatar. See you then. Good night.